Before cities, before writing, before kings and borders, there was hunger. Not the modern kind that waits politely for dinner, but a deep, constant threat that followed humans every hour of every day. In a world ruled by cold nights, sharp teeth, and unpredictable seasons, survival depended on one question: how do you turn what you find into something that keeps you alive? Long before bread was baked or meat was roasted, early humans discovered something that quietly changed everything. They learned how to boil, and in that moment, the first soup was born. Imagine a prehistoric landscape tens of thousands of years ago. Small groups of humans move carefully through grasslands and forests, sharing space with giant animals and unseen dangers. Food is scarce and hard to chew, roots are tough, grains are bitter, and meat is dangerous to hunt and difficult to digest. Every calorie matters. Waste can mean death. Survival demands innovation, even without words to describe it. The earliest humans did not invent soup intentionally. There was no recipe, no plan, no understanding of chemistry or nutrition. What they had was fire, water, and curiosity. Fire had already transformed human life by offering warmth and protection. But its real power emerged when it met water, by heating stones in fire and dropping them into animal skins, hollowed logs, or woven baskets lined with clay. Early humans created boiling liquid. Into this liquid went bones, scraps of meat, wild plants, seeds, and roots. Slowly, over time, something remarkable happened. Hard food softened, nutrients released, flavors blended. What began as survival became nourishment. This early broth was more than food. It was efficiency. Boiling bones pulled fat and minerals into water, turning leftovers into life-sustaining meals. Plants that were once poisonous or inedible became safe to eat. Soup allowed humans to extract maximum energy from minimal resources, an advantage that helped them survive harsh climates and long migrations. In a world without agriculture, soup was a solution to nature's limits. Archaeological evidence supports this ancient practice. Long before pottery existed, humans used stone boiling techniques. Heated rocks cracked and whitened from repeated use. Found at prehistoric sites across Africa, Europe, and Asia, these stones tell a quiet story of patience and experimentation. When pottery emerged around 10,000 BCE, the process became easier and more common. Clay vessels allowed controlled boiling, longer cooking times, and more complex combinations of ingredients. Soup evolved from accident to tradition. As humans spread across continents, soup adapted to every environment. In colder regions, fatty bone broths provided warmth and energy. In warmer climates, lighter plant-based soups helped digestion and hydration. Wherever humans settled, SOUP followed. It required no fixed ingredients, no measurements, and no permanent home. It could be made anywhere fire and water existed. This flexibility made soup one of humanity's most enduring foods. Soup also changed how humans lived together. Cooking took time, and boiling required patience. This encouraged people to gather round fires, to wait, to share. Soup was rarely eaten alone. A pot was communal, passed from hand to hand, reinforcing cooperation and trust. In a dangerous world, shared meals strengthened social bonds. Some anthropologists believe that these shared cooking rituals helped shape early human communities, turning groups of survivors into societies. Over time, soup gained meaning beyond survival. In prehistoric cultures, food and belief were deeply connected. Fire itself was sacred, and anything created through fire carried symbolic power. Soup, simmering slowly, transforming raw elements into sustenance, became associated with healing and renewal. Warm broths were given to the sick, the elderly, and the injured. Even without medical knowledge, humans recognized that soup restored strength. This instinct survives today. As millennia passed and agriculture emerged, soup did not disappear. Instead, it evolved. Grains like barley and wheat were boiled into thick gruels. Legumes added protein. Domesticated animals provided regular access to bones and meat. Soup became predictable, reliable, and central to daily life. In many early civilizations, soup or porridge was eaten more often than bread. It required fewer resources and fed more people. Ancient Mesopotamia offers some of the earliest written references to soup-like dishes. Clay tablets describe broths made with meat, vegetables, and spices. In ancient Egypt, workers were fed grain, soups to sustain them through long labor. In China, early texts describe nourishing broths, believed to balance the body. Across cultures, soup was never luxury first, it was necessity first, tradition later. In ancient Greece and Rome, soup entered medicine. Physicians recommended simple broths for digestion and recovery. Barley soups were prescribed for fever. Meat broths were used to restore strength. Soup became part of structured diets, not just survival meals. This marked an important shift. Soup was no longer only about staying alive, it was about maintaining health. If you are enjoying how deep this story goes, take a moment to like this video. It tells the algorithm that long-form history still matters, and it helps this channel keep bringing hidden human stories back to life. During the Middle Ages, soup remained central to everyday survival. Most people could not afford large cuts of meat. Instead, they relied on pottage, a thick soup made from whatever was available. Vegetables, grains, bones, and bread were added to a single pot that simmered for days. New ingredients were added as old ones were eaten. This constant pot became the heart of the household, feeding families through famine and winter alike. Soup also played a moral role. Religious institutions served soup to the poor, believing it was both nourishment and charity. The concept of the soup kitchen emerged centuries before modern cities. In times of crisis, soup could stretch limited food to feed many. Its ability to turn scarcity into survival made it a symbol of care and resilience. The invention of metal cookware and improved stoves refined soup further. Clear broths, thick stews, and regional specialties emerged. Yet the core idea remained unchanged. Soup was still about extracting value, sharing warmth, and preserving life. Even as bread, meat, and luxury foods gained status, soup remained universal. The industrial age transformed soup again. Canning allowed soup to be stored and transported. Condensed soup made it affordable for urban populations. What was once made beside a fire was now made in factories. Still, the appeal remained the same. Soup was comforting, reliable, and familiar. It connected modern people to ancient instincts they no longer consciously recognized. Today, soup exists in countless forms, from instant packets to slow-simmered bone broths. Yet every bowl carries echoes of prehistory. Every spoonful reflects an ancient solution to hunger. Soup is not just food. It is memory, innovation, and survival preserved in liquid form. When you boil ingredients together, you repeat and act older than civilization itself. You follow a path carved by early humans who learned that water and fire could change everything. Soup allowed our ancestors to eat more, waste less, and live longer. It helped shape social bonds, cultural traditions, and even human biology by supporting brain growth through better nutrition. So the next time you see steam rise from a bowl, remember this. You are not just eating a meal. You are participating in one of humanity's oldest traditions. Born in a dangerous world where survival depended on creativity and patience. If this journey into deep human history changed how you see something as simple as soup, subscribe to the channel. More stories like this are waiting. Stories that remind us where we came from and how small discoveries shaped everything we are today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.